and the skies. Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained I thrive, I thrive.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nomads 50 Plus. My name is Chris Kalaboukis, and we have a very special guest today. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your passions?
My name is Vic Holtreman, and my passion used to be movies and TV. That's why.
Well, you don't like movies and TV anymore?
No, it's not my passion anymore. I mean, I still enjoy them, but anything made before 2010, it gets very sketchy after that. But
anyway, 2008 is my personal cutoff, but it's around the same place. Around the same place.
But as Chris knows, I'm the founder of Screen Rant. I sold it 10 years ago, so don't blame me for anything that's wrong with it now.
Wait a minute. So we have to go back to 2015. 2015. So anything prior to 2015, that's all you. And then everything after that is okay. We got to confirm that.
Yeah. So, I kind of putted around, didn't really know what to do with myself. I mean, I did have Game Rant. I ran that for a couple of years and sold it, but I got divorced and I moved to Puerto Rico. That's my digital nomad part of my life.
What made you want to move to Puerto Rico, of all places?
Well, at the time, even though it completely backfired, I was doing it for the tax benefits,
right?
Because I was into Bitcoin and I thought Bitcoin was going to the moon, and unfortunately,
it still could be going to the moon. It still could be going to the moon. I mean, last couple of days, maybe not. I don't know when this is going to air, but
well,
it still could go to the moon.
It didn't do it on the timeline I needed it to do it, and at the end of the day, because when you go to Puerto Rico, you're still a U.S. citizen, and it's the only place you can go, and you don't have to pay capital gains on your gains.
I did not know that.
Yeah, to do that anywhere else, you have to renounce your citizenship. But in Puerto Rico, you can keep your citizenship. You go there, and any capital gains, of course, they've got all these requirements that you've got to meet. And anyway, I was there about 18 months. It never really felt like home. I felt toward the end I was feeling kind of isolated, and the tax advantage never materialized. Quite the opposite. I probably So anyway, I moved.
So you don't recommend it as a digital haven for nomad haven for taxes?
Well, no. I mean, it could be. It just wasn't for me.
Right?
They speak a flavor of Spanish that's very difficult to pick up, in my opinion. And so anyway, I ended up in Nashville somehow. Now I'm outside of Nashville, and I kind of didn't really have anything to do for a while. I was, as a man, you want to have some sense of purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't really have that. So I was just kind of floating through my days. And then, over the last 6 months or so, I had a number of different men tell me that I really should mentor other men. And I was like, what do I have to offer? And they're like, dude, you're 64, you're 10% body fat, you're fit as hell, you built and sold 2 companies. What are you talking about? I'm like, okay, yeah, I suppose. And so
isn't it funny when you have all these attributes, you can't recognize them because you say, I've been there, done that, I did that stuff. It's like you devalue what you have because it's so rote to you. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you've been through. You're thinking that's not special, but people are outside of you are looking at you and going, holy crap, I can't believe what that guy did. I wish you could help me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I have run into that, but so anyway, I finally thought, I used to write. I used to be the sole writer for Screen Rant when I started it. And then,
seriously, you were the only guy?
Yeah, I was the only guy when I started it. Yeah, and as time went on, I brought on more writers and editors, but I still would enjoy writing my movie reviews and commentary and stuff like that. So I haven't written in a really, really long time. But I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Hey, man, why don't you just start up a Substack?" And I'm like, "What's Substack?"
I love it.
And so I started looking into it, and I was, something just happened. I don't know what it was. Maybe I don't want to get religious, but maybe it was the Holy Spirit talking to me or something. But I was like, you know what? I can start exercising my writing muscles again. So and when I get into something, I get into it. I'm like, I'll sit at my desk at 8 a.m. I won't get up till 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I was learning all the ins and outs of Substack, which you are much more familiar with than I am because you've been on the platform for a while.
6 months, 8 months, basically.
Okay, well,
so I haven't been on much further than you. But I find it interesting that you had this break because as a writer, I mean, I feel like I can't stop writing. Like I can't
Right.
even take a break. It's like even if I'm not writing what I wrote before, I have to
Right.
write something else. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like I can't stop writing. So how did you manage like not writing for a period of time? That seems odd to
Well,
me.
it was. I brought on more and more writers. I think at my peak, I had 2 dozen writers and like 3 or 4 editors, and I was getting more and more into the SEO side of things and the analytics and
Right.
ROI and tracking and I really enjoyed the analytics side of it. Like figuring out what's trending, what's popular, and how to cover it and how to spin it and all that. And that was fun for me. And
Mm,
eventually and I'm not trained as a writer. I don't have a degree in journalism or writing
yeah.
or anything like that. I'm a 2-time college dropout. So
Did
um,
you step out? It sounded like you stepped away from the creative side, though.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I still kept an eye on things, and I made sure that the site was following a certain path.
Mm.
And
You're the
but
visionary at the top of the pyramid,
yeah, I
basically. Yeah.
was. Yeah. And so, and my first couple of articles on Substack, I was like really nervous. And
Seriously? You've been writing for so many years
but
and
yeah, but
you
I
felt,
hadn't written in like 15 years. So
wow.
yeah, it's a long time. But I always felt I just have a natural proclivity. And I mean, I don't know grammar rules, I don't know all that, but I know what looks right and sounds right in my head when I'm reading it.
Yeah.
So my
Hey,
writing is
same here. I
yeah,
have not been trained at all. It's
right.
all just experience. Just keep
Yeah,
doing it until it sounds good.
yeah. I try to write in a conversational voice,
Yeah.
and as a matter of fact, my last article, um, instead of typing it, I dictated it into Word.
Ooh.
And
And it worked? My
yeah,
God.
it works. Yeah, and it really flows. I think it's my best article, and
Nice.
it really flows. And I'm starting to feel more confident now. Because the first few articles, I go to hit publish. It's like, no,
Well, that's the way it is. It's always like that, right? The first time you do something, and then you look back on it and you go, "My God, I can't believe I actually published that thing. It
oh, dude,
was
yeah. I
crap."
read some of my old reviews, and I'm just like laughing my ass off because I did not write reviews like the average reviewer writes reviews. They're
Mm,
so funny to read when I go because my whole thing was like I did not care about cinematography or direction,
yeah.
lighting. You know what? I wrote reviews for the average guy. I'm like, why doesn't the average person read a review? They want to know if it's worth dropping $10 on this movie, if
Yeah.
they're going to be entertained for 2 hours. And that's the approach I took when I wrote the reviews. But oh my gosh, they're so funky. They're so
I gotta
funky.
say that is the approach that everybody wants, though, because they
I
don't just
know.
want some highfalutin critic to say, "Well, this is this and this is that." They want
Yeah.
the regular Joe to
Yeah.
say, you're gonna like this or it's crap, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That's why Siskel and Ebert were so popular because they
yeah,
really reviewed movies that way, right?
yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, so that's where I'm at now, and I'm not stressing myself out. I publish one post a week on Sunday mornings. It's more work trying to keep up with all the notes stuff than it is the actual writing of the
Tell me
article.
about it.
Yeah,
It's a little over the top.
yeah,
So,
it
so you
is.
were you were basically retired for a bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
sort of stepped out and you said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm just
yeah.
gonna sort of like sit on my millions and enjoy myself." And
Right.
then you decided it's like, was it because you weren't doing anything? You felt like you wanted to be dragged back in, or was there something else that drove you to it?
Yeah, I was really rudderless for a while.
Mm.
I mean, the old saying is, you retire, you can only sit on the beach and drink so many margaritas before you start to lose your mind. And you need a
Or play
reason to get
golf. How
up.
many games can you put it? How many games? Are you even a golfer? You're even not even a
No,
golfer, are
no,
you?
no. I don't. That's the other thing. I never developed any hobbies because Screen Rant was my hobby. You
Right.
know, I was working my hobby. So I don't know. I don't play tennis. I don't play pickleball. I don't golf. Yeah, you know what I do? I go to the cigar lounge. I have a nice cigar with an old fashioned, and that's my hobby. And
My
the gym.
God, that's my hobby too.
Yeah, and the gym. But that's it.
I love it. I love it. It's like but there's a lot of people like that, right? I mean, you're not the only one.
Right.
There's probably millions of guys out there who are in that same situation. They just
Yeah.
work their asses off all their lives,
Yeah.
and they have no time for hobbies. And
Right.
then the time comes for them to sort of step down from whatever they're doing, and they're like completely.
Yeah.
They have no direction.
Yeah.
They had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's a thing where guys who are like really successful business owners and they sell their business in their 60s and they drop dead a year later
Yeah,
because they don't have anything to keep them, alive, So, but this feels it feels right. It feels
Hmm.
good. I take it very, very seriously, because I'm not doing this for money. There's this subscription levels. I'm like, I don't plan on ever, having, pay for this content or anything like that. I want to help men in the second half of their lives. That's truly what I want to do. And when I get
Nice.
a nice comment on one of my notes or on one of my articles, it just really feels good. That's what I'm doing it for.
So are you actually coaching as well as doing that, or are you
No, no.
just
See, that's the other thing. I was just playing around in Claude today and set up this interview program, and it said, "So where do you see yourself a year from now?" And I'm like, I don't really know, but I
I love
mean,
it.
actually, you know what my metric would be? I mean, it's, oh yeah, it'd be great to have 10,000 followers, but the metric would be the engagement on my essays.
Mm,
If I got a lot of comments, a lot of people commenting and giving me feedback and telling me that it was helpful to them, that to me is the gauge. And if people start DMing me, but I am not a life coach. I have no training in that. My wife is a trained life coach. And I mean, I will, if guys want to do a Zoom with me or something, okay, I'm open to it. But, all I'm doing in my Substack is I'm saying what my experience was and what helped me and worked for me.
mm.
You take away from that what you will, but I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just saying, hey, this is where I was. Maybe you're here now. This is how I got from there to here.
Right. So do you counsel that people should reinvent themselves, like once they get past that, or should they do like what do you any ideas like what directions people should go in or in general?
Well, I think that the part of the thing is you need to kind of, you know, accept the fact that you're getting older and
No, 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 no. I don't want to do that.
well,
No,
yeah, well,
no.
dude, believe me, I, you
Screw
know,
that.
I used to say aging gracefully. No, I am not going to
No.
age gracefully. I'm going down fighting. But there's if you do it right and you are intentional, there's this, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's my recently, no pun, resurrected faith. There's this sense of peace that comes with age, or
Mm,
can come with age, and wisdom, and really kind of being comfortable with who you are. Because I was never self-confident up until about, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. And I would walk into a room and I'd gauge who's in the room. I'm like, okay, how do I have to modify my personality so people here will like me?
yes.
And
Yes, we're
now
all
I'm
like
like,
that.
hey man, this is me. If you like me, we'll be friends. If you don't, been nice talking to you. You know what I mean? And
Dude, how did
so,
you transition from one to the other? It seems like they
um,
seem like completely different
dude,
states.
it took a lot. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, and I will be chronicling that weekly with my essays. I touched on a main point about that in the one I published this weekend, and I did a lot of what they call belief work. I did work with medicines, and I joined this men's entrepreneurial group. I used to be a member of the 1%, Rich Cooper's 1%, and but the thing that's really kind of like shifted it in the last few months again is, I've my wife is amazing. Um,
They all are, aren't they? They
not
absolutely
all,
are.
not all. The first
Well,
one
mine
wasn't.
is.
The first one
Yeah,
wasn't.
neither was
Uh,
my first one.
yeah. But
Second time's a
she's,
charm, right?
yeah. So yeah, I never thought I'd get married again, but I'm so happy now that I am. I've only been married like less than a year and a half.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
great.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. And it's great. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And she's been a great influence on me in that regard. And I'm
It's
really,
amazing how much of a difference it makes,
oh yeah.
doesn't it?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah. It's night and day. And this, yeah, I don't even want to go down that rabbit trail because I'll get all weepy and shit. So, but, but she's fantastic, and I was, what they call red pilled, at the time I met her, which I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh,
And
I'm totally familiar with that.
okay,
Were
okay,
you
yeah.
like right into the manosphere and all that stuff?
Oh
Were you
yeah,
like,
I was
oh yeah,
all into that. And I think actually I might have to write an essay on that because I think that when when an older man, or hell, even a younger man, comes out of divorce,
Mm.
um, that is like waiting for them with open arms.
Oh yeah, they're very receptive to that message at that moment.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I was, and I think that, and I just wrote a post about this on a men's forum that I'm a member of, and I think red pill is kind of like on a spectrum, right? If
Mm.
you go all the way to like think of a gas gauge, right? Let me do this the right way. Okay, here's empty. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you're empty is blue pill. You
Mm.
know, you're a beta simp and all those things, and happy wife, happy life. All the way full, that's black pill, to where
Yes.
you hate women and you don't ever want to have anything to do with them. I think when you come out of a divorce, you kind of like end up at like three-quarters full,
Yeah.
quarters of the way there, right? But
Yeah.
what happens, which should happen, I think, is that, I almost think that's like necessary, right? But then the people that I've remained friends with in the 1%, they're the guys who pulled back a little to about the half tank mark,
Mm.
right? The red pill, because there is validity to some of the red pill stuff. It's based on The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi.
Oh yes, I've read that. I've read all of those books, all the way
Right,
through.
right. And so, I take pieces of that, which I think are valid, but I'm not like these guys are really can be really extreme,
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm in this forum and I'm trying to be kind of a moderating influence, and so yeah, I was very red pilled when I met my current wife, and it almost derailed the relationship,
Wow.
and it really really did, because I was in this mindset that I'm not even going to go to the specifics, but she saw through all that and she saw me for who I really was,
Nice.
and she hung in there, and I'm a completely different person than I was 2 years ago, and I say this and it sounds weird me saying this, but I really hate to admit it, but the deeper I go in my faith, the more peace I feel, the more content I feel, because I've never been, one of those woo Christian guys. I was actually
Right.
what they would call a casual Christian, oh, I'll
Right.
go to church on Sunday and I don't really think about, God that much. But now I'm like spending time in the morning every day. I'm trying to think throughout the day, and it's informing my writing and who I am, how I interact with people. And the more that happens, the more grounded and peaceful and okay with myself that I feel.
Yeah. Because you always felt a little unstable, like you weren't
Oh yeah.
sure where
Oh
things were
yeah.
going.
And not just unstable. I mean, probably just unstable. Period. Because I had I mean, it's still there. It just takes longer to ignite it. But I always had a really bad temper.
Mm.
I mean, I'm from northeastern New Jersey, right across the river from New York City. How you doing and all that stuff, and it
Your
wouldn't take.
accent is almost completely gone.
Oh yeah, that's if you got a minute, that's actually a funny story. I started working on that when I was about 10 years old, and I still did
Really?
it. Yeah, a
You
friend of
said to
mine.
yourself,
Remember?
I gotta eliminate this. What happened?
Well, you remember the those tape recorders, the little like rectangular tape recorders you had to
Oh
press two
yeah, yeah, yeah.
buttons to record.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
My
friend
very
of mine.
first, I actually had my brother and I, when we were little kids, we actually had one of those tape recorders, and we recorded our own podcast at the time, which was just
Nice.
us talking to each other on the
Yeah.
tape recorder. It was called Channel 17 after our host number. And we would sometimes we would record TV shows off the TV, and then we would have like commentary in between.
Right.
This is like in the like late 60s when this
Yeah,
was
that's
happening.
awesome, dude.
It's the podcast of the day.
You were so ahead of your time.
Too far.
Too far ahead. Yeah. But I walked up on a bunch of friends of mine, and one of them had a tape recorder, and I'm walking up saying hi and all this stuff, and then they rewound it, and I hear this voice coming out of it that sounds like Rocky and Stallone in Rocky One. Hey, you guys, how you doing? What's going on? And I'm like, and I said, who is that? And they said, dude, that's you. I was like,
I
right
love it.
there, I was like, I am going to start speaking correctly and generically, and so yeah.
It happens like when you first time you hear yourself speaking, you think to
Mhm.
yourself, that's not me. That doesn't
Yeah,
sound like me at all. And
right.
it's just such a shock to your system
Yeah. 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 Like when I
finally
watch
hearing yourself.
this after the fact, I'll be like, really?
Man, so would you say your childhood was what would you say your childhood was? Was it smooth, easy? Was it
was
rough? How was it?
it was horrific.
Really? Oh my God.
It was not good in or out of the home. It was not good. It
Oh
was
no.
yeah, no, it was no, there was my mom, there was something wrong with her. Like if
Mm,
she was alive today, she'd be like on some kind of SSRI or something like that,
geez.
but that
Yeah.
wasn't the thing back then,
No.
So I mean there was literally a screaming fight in my house every single day
Oh
until they worked
man.
it out. And then I was like really skinny and nerdy and geeky and I got picked on at school and yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And that impacted me. That's part of the whole reinvention thing because even when I was successful and I sold two companies and I had all this money, I looked in the mirror, I still see this geeky 17-year-old that couldn't get a date.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean,
So you
seriously.
you made it to like how did you start Screen Rant? Because I'd love to know about like your entrepreneurial ventures. Like how did you get to the point where you built
Oh,
that thing?
okay. I'll try and give you the short version. I dropped out of college twice. Thought I'd try and sell insurance. That lasted about 5 minutes. Then I
I'm
had
not into
the
sale. I can't do sales either. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
sales is not my gig.
yeah.
Can't do it.
And then I had the very prestigious job of a fry cook at Bennigan's.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
nice.
and I
I
happen
did
to
that
be
for
talking.
my parents' company. My parents, we had a fast food place up in north of Toronto where I lived, and I would be a fry cook there. So we did fry cooking
There you go.
together.
Hey man, that's like a gauntlet
It's a
surviving.
hard job, man.
Yeah, well,
Food
once dinner.
service is really hard. I get
Yeah,
people I think every single person in the world should go through some food service job so they can understand how difficult it is.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
really difficult. Yeah.
yeah. The time would fly at that fry station though, because it would be 5 o'clock. Next thing I know, it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're going 90 miles an hour
Oh
the
yeah, you
entire
never
time.
stop.
Yeah, but there was another guy in the line, and he told me he joined the Navy, and he was telling me about this thing called the nuclear program, which I guess you get to work on subs and stuff like that, and it's
Nice.
technological. I was always into techie stuff.
Sounds cool.
So I walked into a recruiter's office, and I took their little test, and my score was like off the charts. So the guy almost literally grabbed me, wouldn't let me leave the building, and
We
so
got to
I
get you in here, man.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I was in my I was like 23, 24, and I was going nowhere. So I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll try this. And so I couldn't get into the nuke program because I'm red-green colorblind. So then,
Ah,
yeah, so then he starts, well, how about this? How about that? And he's like, oh, you could be a yeoman. And I'm like, what's a yeoman? He goes, it's basically a secretary. I'm like, next. And then he came up with aerographer's mate. And I'm like, that's a mouthful. What's that? He said, that's weather and oceanography. I said, okay, that sounds good.
mm,
So I joined the Navy. I was in for 4 years. It got me out of New Jersey. That's the best thing it did for me.
nice.
I was a moron. I didn't take advantage of the GI Bill. So when I got out, I was completely broke. I had no educational benefits. I had no idea what I was going to
Wow.
do with myself. So I enrolled in a drafting school to be a draftsman, and that's where I was waiting tables at Pizza Hut. And
Jeez. More
yeah,
food service.
yeah, more food service. And so it was a 1-year course. I immediately got hired, and my whole thing was my motives were so crude back then. I just wanted to make money. I didn't care how I made it.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Well,
make
how you were in your 20s, right? You were in your 20s at the time?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course you want to make money. You want to
Yeah.
you want to make your mark on the world. You want to,
Yeah.
press forward. You're a
Yeah.
guy. You need to do these things,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
it's what's expected of you. And the
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
money you make, the bigger man you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to be rich. That was my goal. I didn't
Yeah.
care how I got there. Right.
Yeah.
But so as soon as I started a new job, I tweaked my resume. It's like, okay, I got another job for experience, and I'd start looking immediately for the next one. And
Yeah.
I kept like jumping, and within like 3 years, I changed my title from draftsman to mechanical designer,
Wow.
and I was doing good, man. I was like, and I got to remember, this was like in the 90s, and I was this young guy making 80 grand a year. I had a Camaro, I had a Jeep, I just bought a house.
Nice.
I was just living it. And so I had a job as a mechanical designer at
This
this
is still in
company.
New Jersey?
Oh no, it got me out of New Jersey. I'm in California now.
Oh, in California. Okay.
Yeah, San Diego area. So
Nice.
Um, what happened? Oh, we ran on an HP Unix system, and I started playing around in the file operating system, even though I shouldn't have. And I found a website that I had some hacking information on it. So I figured out I hacked the root account on the Unix server,
I love
and
it. And you
and I
have no
was
computer experience, right? You just
no
sort of you
no
just
yeah
said, "Let me try
yeah
doing this."
yeah, and so I was summarily fired.
Oh no!
And so then I applied for a job as a system administrator with zero experience. And I just BS'd my way into the role because I had confidence that I'd be smart enough to pick it up. And I did. And I worked there as a system administrator. And that was in the early 2000s. And I got into affiliate marketing online way back
Wow.
before Amazon even existed, and selling kettlebells and fitness equipment and books and stuff
Well,
like that.
sysadmins were a hot commodity around that
Oh yeah.
time. I mean,
Yeah.
if you knew Unix and you were a sysadmin, people would
Yeah.
like you'd be snapped up in a second.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I was assistant man for the whole Y2K thing that everybody thought the world was
Oh
going to
man,
end.
you must have been people must have been pouring money
Oh
down.
my gosh, I was swamped. And but anyway, I started, and then at the time there was this new thing that was coming online called weblogs, and I was like, oh, that
Mm,
sounds interesting. And so I always loved movies, and I was, I was such a complainer. I wanted to rant about the bad stuff I saw Hollywood doing, and I wanted TV and movies, so I called it Screen Rant instead of Movie
perfect.
Rant.
Perfect.
And I just started playing with the content management system and writing little articles, and I didn't think anybody would ever read them. And then I plugged in some analytics and I started to get traffic. I'm like, and I'd go search on Google, which had just started around the same time.
Yep.
I was like, wow, I'm coming up. And then I put a comment module. People started commenting and they liked what I had to say. I'm like, holy crap, this is kind of
Nice.
interesting.
This is
And
like early
then,
2000s, right?
yeah, early
Like
2000s.
mm,
And also then remember when the telecom bubble burst, like the
yes.
Qualcomms, all that, I got laid off and they gave me like 6 months severance pay. So instead of looking for a job, I decided to double down on affiliate marketing and continuing to write with Screen Rant. And what happened eventually is uh, the competition affiliate marketing started climbing.
Oh yeah.
And so I started getting less and less revenue. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get a job. And so
No.
I know the horror. Hated working in a
But
cubicle.
like, what was your taste of entrepreneurship? Did you love it, or did you go, this is not for me?
Oh no, no, I'm built for it.
Yeah.
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 I went to there was a local tech college. I went to be a PHP programmer to learn.
Oh yeah.
And
I remember
yeah,
PHP.
yeah. And on the first day, the professor's like, there's a company in town that will take you on as an apprentice. You don't need to be here. And I said, well, that's a weird thing for the professor of the school to say, but okay, thanks. Disenrolled, went there, got hired, and I was a
Nice.
novice PHP programmer. I was writing code to scrape content off of other sites. It
Yeah.
was a review company. So anyway, they knew that they found that I owned Screen Rant, and they said, "Who does your search engine optimization?" And I said, "I do." And I said, "Oh, you want to do that for us?" I'm like, "Okay." So by day,
It became part of your job.
it became my job. I stopped PHP programming.
Seriously.
And so I
Wow.
became the SEO specialist at the company. And so I worked nights and weekends on Screen Rant because it was starting to get enough traffic that I'm like, I could throw a couple of ads on this. I might actually start making some money.
Mm,
And it did start making money. And at one point, I brought on an editor who actually had a degree in journalism
wow.
to kind of like run the site during the day while I was working. Um, and what happened was I ended up quitting because they brought in this used car persona SEO guy from New York City
Oh
because
my God, I hate those kind of
oh
guys.
god, yeah, the
They're
company
the
got some
worst.
the company got some VC funds, and then the board said, oh, we need an actual corporate guy. Anyway,
God, sales
I
guys are the worst, aren't they?
yeah,
They're just
yeah.
the absolute worst.
Yeah, and he felt threatened by me because he was a BS artist. And so anyway, I ended up quitting 2 months before I had planned to. But I saw the trajectory of Screen Rant was on a good trajectory. So I'm like, you know
Mm.
what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the leap. And side note, he got fired 2 months later for having porn on his company computer.
Oh man,
Yeah. So
not surprising at all.
yeah, no, no. But anyway, yeah, that's what started. And then Screen Rant, the traffic just doubled year over year. And at the time I sold it in 2015, it had 15 million visits a month.
Nice. So how much work were you putting into Screen Rant at the time? It was like a full-time job plus?
It was a full-time job. I found ways to fill my days because I was like really into analytics and optimizing the ROI and ad chains and putting this ad network above this one and which one
Yeah,
is paying more and all that kind of stuff. And I'd be on Google Trends all the time and figuring
yeah.
out what to cover and how to cover it. So yeah, it was full-time right till the end. But I started getting offers, and I was like, no, no, no. And then, I don't know. There's something, I don't want to get into the politics thing, but I saw what was starting to happen with the woke stuff starting to creep in.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was like,
What year was this? Oh
it
08?
was around 2014,
Yeah.
20, yeah,
Oh,
it
that
was,
late, huh? I thought
yeah,
it
it
would
was
be
that
more
late.
like 08, 09, like
Yeah,
around
no,
that
no.
time.
Well, we were covering at the time superhero movies mainly and action movies.
Yeah.
And at the time, there
The
were no
Marvel
married
Cinematic
scenes.
Universe.
Yeah, that was when it was good.
Yes.
And yeah, man, I made a lot of money off of Marvel.
I miss that, man. I miss those days, man. I
Yeah, I
miss those
know.
days.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even interested in seeing the new movie. I don't care how
No,
many stars they
no.
bring back because I know what their opinion of me is. So I'm like, well, screw you. So anyway, I ended
You
up,
told it like it was, man. You
yeah,
told it like it is.
yeah, but that was Screen Rant, and then sometime before I sold Screen Rant, we started Game Rant. I had a bunch of gamers on my staff, so we started Game Rant, and I was totally hands off with Game Rant.
Mm.
And it turned out that they completely mismanaged that, and I ended
Oh
up having to
no. That
let go of the
sucks.
guy, and I brought in one of the existing editors, made him top editor. I changed the entire direction of the site, and all of a sudden, traffic double, 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 just like Screen
Nice.
Rant
Nice.
did.
So you just needed to put your magic fingers on it
I
and
guess I
boom, it
do. Yeah,
started happening.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's what I did. In the meantime, I also dabbled in some online arbitrage, where you build websites and put ads on it and buy traffic to send to the websites and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Well, that was the golden age of SEO, right? I
It
mean,
was,
it's not
it
like that
was.
anymore. So
Oh no, no,
you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. I mean, it's
no.
basically dead.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And AI is going to kill websites, really.
Oh,
And
it's already starting to kill
I know, I
websites.
know. And I don't know
So
what they're going to do. It's like the dead internet theory, right? Because, anytime you do a query on ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, it goes out to the web.
yeah,
But people aren't going to the website. So
exactly.
their ads aren't getting views. And eventually they're going to have to shut down the website. So what happens? What's the end of this, But
Exactly.
then it's just going to be AI feeding off of AI, no new information.
Which is kind of
And
where we're at already. I mean, I
yeah,
did a post the other day about LinkedIn. It's like I was on LinkedIn the other day to promote one of my, because I have my other blog, Think Future, right? So I
right,
was on there promoting a post, and I saw somebody posting something about a company meeting that they had. They brought the entire team together in real life, and they had a great session, blah, blah, blah. And there's pictures there of all the people. So I know it actually happened. But when
right.
you read the post that the guy posted, and all of the comments that people responded with, it's all sounded like AI. And I'm like, who the hell does that? I mean, it's like, are any humans left out there? I think you're right. The dead internet theory is getting worse, if anything.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
absolutely worse.
It is. It is. And you can't always trust AI, It's like,
No,
back when I was still reading X, which I've stopped, and it's blissful not being on X
isn't
anymore.
it so peaceful
Oh my
getting
gosh,
off of
yeah,
that?
it really is. But somebody did a facetious post saying, asking ChatGPT, uploaded a photo. Hey, ChatGPT, are these berries good to eat? Yes, they're great. Next post. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm in the ER. Turns out those were poisonous. Oh yeah, that's right. They are poisonous. My apologies.
And it's so damn annoyingly positive about everything. It's like sometimes I throw business ideas into it because I'm like, I can't stop thinking about new business ideas. So I keep throwing them in, and
Right.
it comes back and says, oh, yeah, this is great. There's a huge market, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're full of it, man. You can't, none of this stuff is
I've had
real.
to create some custom instructions to get it to stop doing that
Yeah.
because it'll convince you're a genius,
Yeah,
with the dumbest idea ever. And it's like, well, that's a
exactly.
really great point. And it's like, well, really, it's not.
So it was a peak of popularity. You sold Screen Rant and Game
Yeah.
Rant together.
No,
Yeah.
actually, it's a
Okay.
funny story. I sold Screen Rant to a company called Valnet, a Canadian company, and at the time,
Aren't those the guys who do the envelopes that they sell to your house? Oh no, that's Valpak.
No, that's Valpak. But I offered them Game Rant, and it was just a baby site. It wouldn't have been worth much at all. And they're like, no, we're not interested in that. And 4 years later, they came back and said, hey, we'd like to buy Game Rant. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad you waited because now it's worth a lot more money.
Well, yeah. I mean, you actually were pretty prescient in creating Game Rant because
Yeah.
you saw that that's where things were going. Like
Yeah.
things were going in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it became a
And
huge thing. Nice.
yeah, yeah, it did. And they've taken it far beyond where I could. I mean, I was a guy in a basement office running a site, and they've
Yeah.
got an entire floor in an office building, and their video creation team is like 10 people, and they have scores of writers, and so I mean, I think at their peak during COVID, I think they got it up to like 150 million visits a month.
Wow.
And, so yeah, it's
Nuts. Well,
probably
everybody was at home gaming, so why not?
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm talking about Screen Rant. I don't know
Oh,
about
Screen
Game
Rant.
Rant.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But Game Rant's really big now too. But Screen Rant is completely unrecognizable.
Really?
It
It's
wasn't.
nothing like it was when you had it.
No, no, no. Actually, for a couple of years after I sold it, I would once in a while get a private message on Facebook saying, "Hey, man, I understand why you sold it, but man, I really miss the old Screen Rant." And they've essentially written me out of the history of the site as well.
Really? Well, that's
Yeah.
unfair.
Well,
That's
yeah,
totally
whatever.
unfair.
I mean, it was really bothering me for a while. Actually, if you go to the Grokpedia Screen Rant entry, it's got way more in-depth and detailed information about the history of the site.
Hmm.
Wikipedia sucks. Um, but you know what? I started thinking as this has grown. I mean, I had one note that went viral, and I'm up over 1,200 subscribers now, and I want to
Nice.
start to like,
Congratulations. That's
yeah, thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, I'm so humbled by that many people would find my content worth giving me their email
Yeah.
address.
Well, don't you have like a big Instagram account or something like that as well? You're like from
I do,
other
but that's not driving anything. That's not driving.
nice.
Yeah. So, and actually just today I was working on something. I may start throwing some videos up on YouTube, like take my essays and do them in this
You
format.
should. You
Yeah.
should. You
Yeah.
absolutely should. I think like what you're talking about. I think there's a huge need for what you're talking about right now because
Mhm.
it seems like an empty space. So like you get the manosphere way over here, and
Yeah.
then you've got nothing over here,
Yeah.
and you've
Right.
got this middle space, which is a completely green field. There's really nothing there.
Yeah. 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 And I think I'm, not to toot my horn, but I mean, I've been in the manosphere,
Yeah.
right? And I've been through the meat grinder of divorce and having completely rock bottom self-esteem and thinking that I was worthless despite my successes. I had big time imposter syndrome. So, and now that I've come out the other side, I do feel that I can speak to those points.
Well, so you've been through all of the like the wars with the internet and SEO and all that stuff. I mean, how would you build a business today? Or are you basically saying that it's really difficult? Or what would you say? How would you build a new business today?
I don't know. The people that I see thriving, are doing stuff on Substack. They're doing things on Instagram. I mean, there's huge, huge YouTube accounts that don't even have a website,
Right.
which is kind of crazy to me. Um, but trying to build a website and have
Oh
it
yeah.
rank on Google now, forget about it.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
websites, they're done.
they're
They're
done.
done. But like building a brand on social media, that's
Yeah.
still something that's useful and worthwhile.
I think it is. I mean, I'm far from an expert. I mean, I just started this thing a month and a half ago myself. But and I'm not doing it for money either. See, that's key. I don't have a product to sell or anything like that. I follow a guy, I can't remember his name, on Substack, and he's an author, and he floated the idea of taking your Substack essays and turning them into a book.
Yes, I've read that. I've saw
Yeah.
that.
So I'm like, okay, well, a year from now, when I've got over 50 of them, I'm going to look at that.
Yeah.
And I do have a little book. I've been so busy trying to grow my Substack and focus on it and kind of like get systems in place because my wife's been complaining I'm spending all this time on it and she's feeling neglected. And I said, well,
Oh, we can't have that.
well, no, we can't,
No.
but this is the ramp up period. And she's like, well, how long's a ramp up period? 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years? I'm like, okay, that's a fair question, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
She
build in
sounds like
systems.
my life. Like when is this happening? What's going on? He's like,
Yeah.
it's like she's the project manager of my life or something like
Yeah.
that. She needs to know the dates, the times, the tasks,
Yeah.
who's doing what when.
Yeah. But back when it was easy to sell this stuff, I had 20 years ago, I had an ebook that I sold called The Last 10 Pounds. And it was for people who were fit, but they couldn't get rid of that last little bit of belly fat. And
Mm,
I wrote a book, and it was I sold like 1,000 copies of it, but I've got lots of
nice.
emails of people thanking me. Somebody just actually hit me up the other day on Instagram saying, "Hey, I lost my copy. Do you have a copy?" And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to revisit this book. And I've been working with, and I didn't even have the password to the PDF file.
Oh,
So I had to
jeez.
I had to upload my old book to ChatGPT and have it read it and scan it, and I've had Claude kind of like clean it up, and because there's some things that are out of date. So and it gave me the idea to make it a two-part book. The first part will be the original, kind of as a historical document
Yeah.
with editor's notes about what's different, and then this part two will be how I've maintained that for 20 years, and it brilliantly on its own titled it The Last 10 Pounds, the 20th Anniversary Edition. I'm like, oh, I'm using that.
Sometimes it comes out of a real zingers. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
totally
yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
love
But I
it.
want to make it an actual hard copy published book. I've
Yeah.
never done that.
Well, you
So
should. I'll buy it. I
yeah,
mean, let me know. Is it available for sale right now, or because
no,
I'll buy a copy right now,
I
like as
haven't
soon as
written
we
it
get off
yet.
the
No.
call.
I haven't written it yet.
But can you expand it to a 20? Because I kind of need the 20.
Um, oh yeah, that's all the new writing is going to be that. Is going to be how I've maintained it,
Right.
and I'll just have to figure out what level of detail and all that, because here's the thing, it's not really complicated. It's
Mm.
hard
Oh
and
yeah.
it takes discipline, but it's not complicated.
Yeah. Isn't it true that everything in life is simple but difficult?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
worthwhile.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So do you have any plans for where you're going to go next, or are you just basically playing it by ear?
I'm playing it by ear, man. I just started this thing,
Yeah.
so I'm just playing it by ear. I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm trying to be genuine on notes and really engage with people and not do like, bot comments. I've already experienced people just dropping links to their Substacks in my
Oh man,
comments.
that is so rude. I
It's,
hate when that happens.
it's really it's and it's like, come on. And then I click over, they got like 3 followers. I'm like, this is not how you
Yeah.
do it, bro. But yeah, but I'm enjoying it. It feels that, post 3 to 5 notes a day and comment and like. That's my morning now,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
like so, and I am like, I am cheating a little bit. I'm using a note scheduler. Um,
Ooh. I don't know.
but they're my notes, man. They're my notes.
As long as you're
Um,
writing them, that's okay. That's fine.
yeah,
That's not a problem.
yeah, yeah. And I will, if a thought pops into my head that I think is worth sharing, I'll put it out there. But it's tricky, I mean, after a while, I feel like I'm reading the same notes over and over again. These
Yes.
inspirational little nuggets, I'm
That for
like,
some reason that stuff goes viral. I don't know why people like it. It's like bumper stickers,
yeah,
right? It's like
yeah,
bumper stick. Nothing deep,
yeah,
nothing interesting.
yeah, like
Man.
little platitudes and things like that, but there's some good stuff in notes too. And if it's good, I'll comment on it.
So if you reinvented yourself a couple times, like what advice would you give to somebody who is like coming out of work, like not knowing what to do with their lives? Do you have any good advice for them?
I would say, don't let go of your day job until you have a firm grip on the next thing.
Right.
Seriously, people, you know, all these gurus online convince you, oh, you can do this, you can do it, you can do it, and it's like, okay, but it takes longer than they tell you it will,
Way longer.
way longer. So I always compared it to the, Tarzan swinging through the jungle, right? He doesn't let go of the vine he's hanging on to until he grips onto the next one.
That is a great metaphor. I love
And
that.
then what? Yeah, then once he's got his hand on that sucker, he can let go of the other one. And I left a little bit early with Screen Rant, but I was making good money, not as much as I wanted to, but I saw the trajectory of it, right? But if you like got nothing, got zero revenue coming in, do not quit your freaking day job. You know what I mean? Yeah. And instead of watching Netflix at night, work on your side gig. You know, that's what I did. You know, I was in the beginning, I was working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to get this thing ramped up, you know, and, but if it's something you care about, it won't feel like work really, you know. Now, of course, you know, you got family, you got to figure all that in. But yeah, that's my advice. And also here's the thing, you know, we get locked into our personas, who we are, right? Who I've been my entire life. You could wake up tomorrow and decide to be a completely different person.
Yep. I've always believed that.
Completely different person. It's all up here. It's all in your head. You decide who you're going to be. You know, like you can wake up in the morning and decide you're going to have a shitty day, or you can wake up in the morning and have the conscious thought, no, today's going to be a good day. And you will react differently. You know, I mean, you really, really will. So, I mean, you can reinvent yourself. And I hate how guru-y this sounds, but it's literally true. You can reinvent yourself. Tomorrow morning when you could wake up, you can decide, I'm not going to be that guy anymore. I'm going to be this guy now.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, act like the person that you aspire to be.
Yeah.
And eventually you will become that person.
Yeah, I've written some posts on that, and it's like change is hard because of a couple of things. I mean, you always expect yourself to be the way you are, because like this is me, right? I'm the kind of guy who does this. I'm the kind of guy who does this. So it's like you have this image of yourself as this guy, and it's tough to change, like become a different guy, because this is like me. And the other piece of it is the social network around you, right? As soon as you start acting differently, they're all like, what the hell happened to Vic? He's a completely different person. I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
But you want to be different. And everybody around you goes, oh, no, stay the same. We loved you the way you were. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's not
you know, if one thing I've learned in life is most friends are transitory.
Yes.
It's a season. And if that starts to happen, it's time to find some new friends.
Yes.
And because, you know, one thing Rich Cooper says that I absolutely agree with is criticism always comes from below.
Yes.
You know, people above you, if you're trying to improve yourself, generally they're rooting for you.
Yeah, and they'll help you. They'll help you.
But people below, it makes them acutely aware of their failings when you start to succeed, and they don't want to see that. And so yeah, that happens, man. I mean, you know, there are people that I don't hang around with anymore. And I thought, oh gosh, I don't have any new friends. What am I going to do? But I'm finding a new circle of friends, you know, men who are successful, men who are devout Christians, and I'm actually vibing with them. I never thought I would.
Nice. And, how do you find that community?
Well, through church, like community groups of church, and man, there is no better place for a guy to find guy friends than a cigar lounge.
So true.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely
it's like
true.
A brotherhood.
Yes.
You know, it's like you walk in and you there's some guy smoking a cigar you don't even know, and it's like, yo.
Yes. Number 4 Series D. What is it? What's the name of the I forget it. It's some Cuban cigar.
Oh, I don't know.
What's your favorite cigar?
I do Drew Estates Java.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like a little coffee flavor in my cigars, and I don't even bother buying other ones. And I like a mild cigar. I don't like a heavy cigar because you know, I get that lightheadedness, which is, it's not a fun lightheadedness. It's kind of an uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I finally figured out how I'm getting high from cigars, because I was like, well, I'm not inhaling. How's that happening? And somebody once said to me, well, are you swallowing saliva? I'm like, yeah. There you go.
Oh,
yeah. And
that's
also through
interesting.
the mucous membranes in your mouth, it also gets in there. So, but man, there's few things better than sitting. I've got a great place 5 minutes from my house, and it's got, you know, the dark walls and the leather chairs, and
nice.
It's got the Winston Churchill room.
I love it.
I mean, it's fantastic. And
I'm gonna have to come visit you in San Diego, and we can hit up this place.
Well, I'm not in San Diego anymore.
Oh, you're not? Oh,
no.
You're in Nashville. That's right. That's right.
Down in Franklin.
You're a little further away.
Yeah.
So, another question I had, like, you look pretty buff, man. Have you always been like that?
Off and on, I've always been fit. I'm probably the fittest I've ever been at my ripe old age right now.
Yeah.
But there's a picture of me that you can find online. Maybe it used to come up when you did an image search on my name, but I did a before and after picture for my last 10 pounds book. And in my after, I was 41 years old. I was shredded beyond belief.
Nice.
Now I'm not shredded like that, but I'm looking pretty good for my age. And the thing is, uh, and it's easy to make excuses, especially as you get older, right? But I mean, I've got a completely detached, irreparable shoulder muscle, one of my rotator cuff muscles.
Oh man, I had that surgery a couple years ago, and they lie about they lie about how long it's going to take to recover from it.
Oh yeah,
It's such a lie. It's like, oh, a couple months, you'll be fine. It's like a year
yeah,
later. What the hell?
yeah. Well, I've had the surgery twice. The first time I
Ooh.
did it, I was a bad patient, and about 4 weeks out, I didn't have my arm in the sling. I was reaching down for a pot, and I felt a pop in my arm that took me
Oh,
down to my
Jesus.
knees. My bicep tendon detached, so they had to reattach that. And then last year, I was bench pressing, and I felt something give, and he repaired it. And then 2 months after, I was a good patient. I wore my sling, and 2 months in, I was stretching in bed, and I felt a pop,
Oh,
and
God.
and that one detached, and it's irreparable. So now I've only got three of my four rotator cuff muscles.
Oh, my God.
Got
Well,
an
that must
arthritic knee.
really,
I got scoliosis. I got breathing problems.
oh, jeez.
I got disc degeneration. But you know what? I just work around it. I just
Yeah.
freaking work around it.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. It's like this fitness is really important for people of our age, right? I
Yes.
mean, we got to keep it up. So, how often do you go to the gym?
I like 3 days a week.
Hmm.
That's about it. I used to be a 5, 6 day a
Like
week
two
guy.
hours a day? Just
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like when I was like really doing it recently, I'd go in treadmill 10 minutes. My weight workout would be an hour. I'd do about 10 minutes of core, and I'm stiff as a board, so I really started getting into stretching, and I do 45 minutes.
wow.
But after like 6 months, I'm no more flexible than when I started. So I'm like, what the hell is the point of this crap?
That
But
I did yoga and it hadn't made no difference. It made
yeah,
literally no difference. Like,
yeah,
is stretching is it just BS? I mean,
yeah,
sometimes I think of that.
yeah.
It's just
I know.
complete
Yeah,
BS.
yeah. But I mean, you could do an hour, 3 days a week. And but of course, I'm in maintenance mode. I'm not in building, getting fit mode.
Right.
So, but I think rest is highly underrated. Your
Yes.
your muscles really need time to recover. But yeah, man, I do 3 days a week. That's about it. Some days 2 days, and then I'll go like a week or two where I won't do anything. Like we had that ice storm here, and I didn't do anything. And the beginning of the year, I was fasting and I was feeling pretty weak. And I was an idiot. I donated a pint of blood, and the next day I started a water only fast.
Sm-
So that didn't go too well by day three. But
Smart.
yeah,
Well, so speaking of diet, what about your diet? I mean, do you are you on something restrictive? You said you were fasting. Do you do intermittent fasting or?
I did for a long time, but I found that black coffee in the stomach in the morning was really messing with my stomach. So now
Mm,
I have a light breakfast, 250 calories. I have some yogurt and some berries and half a banana chopped in it. I eat a light lunch, and I usually try to save all my calories for dinner. And I can have a really big dinner. But I eat kind of like Mediterranean style, I guess.
mm.
I don't eat all the rules are broken when I go out to eat, right? I mean, if I go to a nice
Well,
restaurant,
that's because you're enjoying the experience. You want to feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
you're enjoying it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You put a freshly baked warm basket of bread in front of me, I'm going to eat that
Oh
crap.
yeah, it's gone. I'm
Yeah,
devouring that
but
sucker.
at home there's no white carbs. I eat very little sugar, no bread, no pastas. If I do have pasta at home, it's a rare treat. A lot of meat, a lot of green veggies, fruit, protein shakes, but that's about it. And I drink a lot of water. Drink 80 ounces of water a day. I try
80
to.
ounces? Is
Yeah,
that it? It should be aligned with your body weight or something like
yeah,
that, right?
like half an ounce for every pound that you weigh. So I weigh
Mm,
around 160, so I do 80 ounces of water. And it helps keep me full and all that. But I don't feel restricted.
mm.
I still have the occasional cocktail. I like my bourbon, my scotch, I like my old
Your old
fashioned.
fashions?
Yeah, I do. But I used to drink a lot more. I used to drink, it was problematic. Okay.
Mm.
I would have two to three a night every night.
Yikes.
And now I'll have maybe three a week on the weekends or something like that. And it's very, catabolic. It's not good for, dropping your body fat or gaining muscle and all that stuff. And it's hard. I watched one or two Andrew Huberman videos, and I'm like, okay, I really got to cut back.
That guy's really inspiring, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's so inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's it. I don't, I always thought, my whole life I was like, I'm not going to even shoot for maintaining 10% body fat. It's like, I'm not a fitness model. I don't need to do that, but I'm doing 10 to 11% without, I feel, a lot of effort. Now I do track everything. I've got an Oura ring, so I track how many calories I'm burning. I use the Lose It app and I've been doing it for 15 years. It's like a no-brainer to input all my foods. So I try and keep the calories burned and the calories that come in balanced. And if I start to creep up in weight or body fat a little bit, I just decrease the calories, increase the activity. But you can't manage what you don't measure. So
right.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you recommend that people do for people of our age to stay healthy?
To stay healthy? Well, I think flexibility is important. I think walking is great. I just saw an article, maybe heavy hands is going to come back. You remember that? Walking with the weights. If you do it with vigor, I think it's actually really, really good. And if you can't do a lot of stuff, walk fast and hard and put some weights in your hands. But yes, strength is so important. I've read somewhere that the number one indicator of longevity is muscle mass.
Mm.
And of course, you lift weights, you get denser bones, which is very important. So, but stay active, man. I'll close with this. I know we're getting to the end, but one time I was at one of those Japanese restaurants where there's a bunch of people you don't know around the table, and there was this big obese guy, and we got talking about working out and fitness and nutrition. And he said something like, "Oh, I hear if you work out and eat right your whole life, it only has like 2 years to the end of your life. What's the point?" And I said, "That's not the point. The point is, do you want to be 75 on oxygen and a walker, or do you want to be 75 playing tennis with your grandkids? It's not about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years."
Exactly right. Well, this has been great. So much fun. Not Nomads 50 plus, but it's good. It's been great. It's like this is exactly what we need to do. This is stuff we need to talk about. It's absolutely essential. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
My email is I'm master of my own domain. It's vic@holtreman.net.
Nice.
HOLTREMAN.net. That's my email.
And is there anything you're promoting now? You say you have a book's coming out, you got your Substack. Is there anything else?
No, just the Substack is the main thing that I'm working on promoting and trying to get in front of a lot of people, because I just want to impact men, and I want to help men, and that's what it's about. It's not about making money at all. Maybe I'll make a couple of bucks with the Lose It book, probably not, but
hey, you'll make a couple bucks from me on that book, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's also the other thing is, like, I don't ever offer anybody fitness advice or anything like that. But if somebody comes to me, man, I get excited,
Nice.
And I love to, tell people, what I do and what they can do and little changes they can make and things like that,
So you are a life coach, just not in name.
Yeah, I suppose. No, I just tell them what I do. I don't tell them what to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference. That's the difference. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been great. I'll put all the links in the show notes so people can go direct to your stuff. And it was great talking with you, man. And next time I'm there, we're definitely hitting the cigar lounge.
Oh, 100%.
It'll be fun.
This is a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll do it again. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right, Chris. See you, man.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained I thrive.